Okay guys, this week we're going to be doing 4 different types of grammar. Today we're going to start with relative adverbs. An adverb is a word used to modify a verb, adjective, or another adverb. It is often used to give more information about a word or phrase in the sentence. It's called a relative adverb because it relates to the word or phrase it describes. A relative adverb can take the place of a preposition plus the word which. All right, so let's take a look at this relative adverbs chart. The relative adverb where refers to a place. It replaces a phrase such as in which. An example of that is this is the park where we had our family reunion. The relative clause where we had our family reunion gives more information about the park. Using where instead of in which makes the sentence sound less formal and more conversational. The relative adverb when refers to a time, replaces a phrase such as on which. I'll never forget the day when I got my first bike. The phrase when I got my first bike gives more information about the day that they forgot, and it sounds less formal than on which. The relative adverb why refers to a reason. It replaces a phrase such as for which. An example of that is there is the reason why I always have an umbrella in the car. The relative clause I always have an umbrella, in the car, okay, refers to the reason why they always have refers to the reason. Okay? It is a less formal way of saying for which. So let's look at these 2 sentences. We need to be able to choose why or when in the first sentence to see which one makes more sense. I don't understand the reason why girls can't be on the football team. Or I don't understand the reason when girls can't be on the school football team. Obviously, our answer here would be why. What is why referring to? It is giving more information on the reason. In many states, June is the month where or when school ends for summer. In many states, June is the month where school ends for the summer, or in many states, June is the month when school ends for the summer. Well, we know that is referring to time, June is, so our obvious choice is when. The rest of the phrase tells us more information about the month. So in your writing journal, there will not be a Google Doc for this. You are doing this in your writing journal. I want you to pause the video and write relative adverbs on the top of the next page of your writing journal. Then write the 3 sentences below. Pause the video now. Read each sentence and write a word or phrase for the blank that goes with the relative adverb. Refer to the relative adverbs chart if you need help. You should have written relative adverbs on the top of your sheet and these 3 sentences. The PTA will decide on a blank when we can plan our school carnival. Mom wanted to know the blank why I didn't bring home my permission slip. That's the blank where we had our first book club meeting. Now, you're going to, after you've written these sentences down, you're going to read each sentence and write a word or phrase for the blank that goes with the relative adverb. Refer to the relative adverbs chart if you need help. That was earlier in the video. Okay, so you're going to read the first sentence. For example, the PTA will decide on a blank when we can plan our school carnival. Okay, so we need a word here that refers to time because we have when here as our adverb. You could put in a date. The PTA will decide on a date when we can plan our school carnival. Another example is the PTA will decide on a day when we can plan our school carnival. Okay, so any word that has to do with time here will work. Let's look at the second sentence. Mom wanted to know the blank why I didn't bring home my permission slip. Okay, so anything that would have to do with a reason, and in this case, it could be reason. Mom wanted to know the reason why I didn't bring my permission slip. Let's look at the third one. That's the blank where we had our first book club meeting. Well, our adverb is where, so that would refer to a location. So you could put, that's the location where we had our first book club meeting. Or, that's the room where we had our first book club meeting. Or, that's the library where we had our first book club meeting. As long as it is a word that refers to some place. Keep this in your writing journal. All of the activities that you do this week will be written in your writing journal.